Today I am going to try the Appwrite, which is claimed to be the alternative to the Firebase. This is an open source project, and I was looking into there, and today I will try it to make an Android integration with this Appwrite, and let's see how easy it is as a beginner to integrate the Appwrite free. And I just hit the Docker command. I had installed the Docker already, and this is the container which is running currently. I can use the starter package and the cloud hosted platform, but I was trying to look how easy it is to get started with the Android. There they have the official documentation available for the Android implementation. It seems a little bit different than the Firebase. In my case, I will go to the local host, and I'm using the default port. That's why I can just use this link. I guess it automatically loads me to my Appwrite. I just created my user, no problem at all. Then I create a new project, empty project, import project. I don't know what this experimental thing it is, but let's start with a project name and Android test. I will name it. I can specify a project ID or leave it empty. It will automatically give a random project ID to this, so I guess this is the project ID. Well, the UI seems pretty simple. One thing is disappointed that there are some locked features. I have no idea why the premium features are locked, as this is an open source version, but maybe there will be a valid reason for this. And if I go to the settings, it shows me the API credentials. The API endpoint is this one, I guess, and the project ID is this number. So I have some custom domains which I can add. I don't know what this means. There have a webhooks. It seems pretty straightforward what the name suggests, but I'm not sure what I can do with that either. So I just leave it as it is. The migrations, so we have the option to migrate data from different sources. Then we have custom SMTP server. So enabling this option allow customizing email templates and prevent email from being labeled as spam. Okay, so we can customize this sender name, sender email, reply. We can set up this. We'll look into this option later. The first option is authentication. We want to authenticate the Appwrite Auth. Let's create a new user, and I will name it a test user, and there is a test@gmail.com, and I will leave the phone number empty, and hello123 is a password, and my user is created. If I look into the fields, I can change the password. This is pretty good compared to the Firebase. So I have a bunch of options. I have a key value pair which I can use as a preferences for this user, I guess, and there I can add admin labels. So I think this will make it a role-based system. So if I update this as an admin, maybe I'm able to access this later. And then I have sessions, which is obviously it should when I log in, it should be available here. Then the memberships, I still don't have idea what it is. And then database. Okay, so this is a database. I don't think it is like the Firebase real-time database. Instead, I think this is something similar to Firestore. So let's come to the Android Studio and create a new project. before jumping to the database sections, anything else, we'll just focus on integrating the Android project with this Appwrite, and we'll try one thing, which is authentication in this available. Okay, so inside our Android Studio, we need to create a new project for this. And if I come to the navigation section, we have an Android. I can provide app name, and I will call it my Appwrite test, I guess. I know it should be similar to my Android project or not, but I will try to make it similar. If I move to this one, let's see what it says about that. Create an Appwrite project onto the console. In this is your first time Appwrite. Create an account and create your first project. Then under app platform, add your app's name and package name. So your package name is the one entered when you create an Android project. For existing project, you should use the application ID in your app level build.get file. I don't get it, but maybe there is something. I don't need the existing project. I just need to go and just hit a close project, so to make things a little bit faster. Okay, I also cloned this repository, so I came to know that Appwrite is written in PHP. I wasn't aware until I cloned this repository and look into the code files, and I go to the app. There is CLI, PHP, and a bunch of these files. I will look into the code later. And there is a src, which have two folders, Appwrite and executor, and inside this we have this auth, which I'm going to cover, and there is auth itself. So I'll just close it. I'll create a new project. I'm not going to use a Flutter option. I'm going to empty activity, and because the official example is based on the Compose API, so I will make sure that I'm using the Compose API as well. I will go and I will name this my Appwrite test. So I'll copy it from here, and I will also go to my console and paste it here. Then I will copy this and go back and paste it here, the next. Okay, so I will finish it, and it will generate an Android project. We'll wait for this to finish and go back to the console. It says if we are using the Groovy, we should put this one and this one, but we are not using the Groovy. We just selected the Kotlin base Gradle file. So okay, we'll look into that. There should be an option for the KTS. Yeah, there should be displayed get the SDK, and what should be displayed instead of Groovy, there should be a toggle option, I guess, which is not here. Let's take a screenshot of it. I will try to post it onto the GitHub official repository and see what they want to say about that. Appwrite. Okay, so let's look for it. It is taking some time. I'll pause the video and come back to this once it's done. One more thing which I like to correct is this real-time option. So Appwrite have real-time option, but I'm not sure how this will work. So it says that Appwrite supports multiple protocols for accessing the server, including REST, GraphQL, and real-time. So I wasn't aware that real-time is something separate than this thing. Okay, so that's a new thing for me. Instead of requesting a new data via HTTP and subscription, we'll receive a new data every time it is changed. So that is something pops up method where you publish and subscribe method, I guess. And any connecting client receives the update within milliseconds via WebSockets connection. Okay, so it have options for WebSockets to emulate, I guess, the real-time connections, just like the Fibrous real-time database. This lets you build an interactive and responsive user experience by providing information from all of the Appwrite services in real time. So this example below shows subscribing to real-time events for file uploads. No, we don't want the file uploads. We want the real-time database checkpoint. To subscribe to update from different, you need to specify one or more channels. The channels offer a wide and powerful selection that will allow you to listen to all possible resources. This allows, I don't know what the else to read. A real-time authentication using an existing user session. If you authenticate after creating a subscription, the subscription will not receive updates for the newly authenticated user. Well, we can jump into that. We have something, so when we'll be onto this, we can definitely use this. So I'll leave this to something in future, so we'll focus what we were doing in today. So we have our project set up already, and okay, so we have this now. It says we need to go to the manifest, and there we need some changes to be done, and then we have to change something in here. Okay, I'm coming back to the Android development after a long time, so things has changed. So I'll look into that as well. It says I need to add a Maven Central. The Maven Centrals were when I last checked already included, so I don't know in the KTS if they have something similar. Okay, so we have the packaging, compose options, build features. So compose option is using Kotlin compiler extension version. So okay, and do we have let's look into the what Copilot can store us. How to add Maven Central in Kotlin based Gradle instead of Groovy. I don't know what the correct spelling is. Okay, so that's written there. We'll see if it will help us. Let's see. To add a Maven Central in Kotlin based Gradle instead of Groovy, you need to use the repositories block inside the settings.gradle.kts file. For example, this will allow you to use plugins from Maven Central in Kotlin based Gradle project. For more information, how to publish a Kotlin Java Spring. Okay. Okay. Maven Central Gradle plugin portal, plugin management. We'll need to figure out where this is. Okay. So there we have the plugins. It says I need to, okay, if I change this to what, project, then I come to, we have the builds.gradle file, that's it is, and then we have a Gradle folder, and inside the app I have a Gradle again. So okay, cool. So this is a setting.gradle. That's, yeah. So we have plugin management repository and then Maven Central available here. So settings.gradle.kts, right? We have that already. Cool. And then we have to add this to your project build.gradle file. So I'll come back to my project build Gradle KTS, and inside the implementation I need to add this one, right? Then I have to sync my project. So this one worked as expected, and we have this implementation, and we now have the Appwrite SDK available. So what do we need to do? We just press this next and initialize your SDK. So initialize your SDK by pointing the client to your Appwrite project using the project ID. So okay, we can copy that. Cool. But they are not pointing that where should I put this code. Initially SDK by pointing client to your Appwrite project. What? So does that mean we can copy this code anywhere? Maybe not. Let's come to our main activity, then put this code here, and let's see. Okay, we need to import this to proper import sections. Cool. The context, why don't we just make for self-assigned certificates only used for development, self-assigned. Maybe we can create a new file. I don't know. Let's try to see, do we have some existing Android Appwrite example available on GitHub? Awesome Appwrite. Okay, we'll look into that. Appwrite Android Playground, what it is, I don't know. Demo getting started. Okay, let's see this. We have this awesome list. We have the Kotlin or Android section. Yes, we have an Android section. Inside this Appwrite Kotlin Telia, a simple app that generates sets of random words combinations and provide the writer's block. It allows you to log in and save them with Appwrite to be able to retrieve. Okay, we'll go to the source code and let's see how they are doing. If we go to the settings.gradle, this is nothing to do with build.gradle. They are using the Gradle implementation, but we are using the KTS option inside the app. What do they have? It is last updated 2 years ago, so maybe something is different today, but hopefully it will give us some idea. Okay, do they change something? They have a main activity and okay, metadata they are providing this. I think this is a play console that we need to provide some metadata available. So what? They have a separate activity like this, and the main activity is launcher activity, and application they are registering the activities there. um, then they have one activity which is main activity, and then the activity like this which have an intent filter, and inside the Android web auth. So that's something we have to do. Android name IO Appwrite views callback activity. So for now, local project ID. So this is something we have to do, I guess. Okay, go back to the source file, and what do they have here? They have more things than I expected. Main view model. Cool. So they are creating a client here. I think they are just using the MVVM architecture or something. I'm not sure which architecture they are using. I'm completely clueless here because I don't have much experience with MVP, MVVM, or clean code architecture something. I'm just learning it along the way. So they have a function to create a client like this main view model. I think we can grab this code and we can create our own main view model like this. But I'll try to make things simple. So one thing I came to know is that we can but they are making it private. So I think everything related to Appwrite is inside this class, which is pretty how to make the things simple. So let's focus that I'll create this client inside my main activity. Let's see that. Okay, I'll create a late init var, and then I copy this one. Instead of copy, let's cut it. And after setting my content, let's do this. Do we have a context? No, but we can use base context here, I guess, right? And status true. Oh, are they using the self sign? No, they are just using the set endpoint and set project, and we'll leave this token. For self-signed certificate only used for development. I don't know why this error is available. Create new scratch file from selection. Replace the code. Let's just omit this for now, just to make sure that our things are working. And inside of this, let's call it from the global variable, this one. So now our client is initialized, right? So then they have one more thing, which is account, and oh no, we need to put it here, the late init var, but we can initialize the account like this. Okay, so I don't know what this account does. add exploited test.client. Okay, let's do that. Now we are not using database yet, so we'll just skip that part, but I'll make a reference to this project so I can view it later. So then we have a playground for Android, and we have one more demo. This repository has been archived. Okay. Yeah. So they are making the UI. They have a main activity, then the configurations, then the UI. Inside the UI, they have accounts. Then they have accounts view model. They have a database, functions, localization, storage, team, and clients. Wow, that's almost everything covering related to the Android version with the Appwrite. I'll copy this reference as well, so I can reference it later. Then come to the app section, then the src, main, how they are doing the configuration. I think that's where they are configuring their yeah, host, project, database, collection, storage, pretty much everything they are providing here. And then they are using something inside there. App bar configurator. No, we don't need that. Okay. Then we have the UIs. What do we have in utilities? Okay, we have a separate. Cool. I like this approach. So we can create a utils folder, and inside the utils we can create our client. I like this approach. Let's come back to the Android file structure, and inside our project let's create a new directory and call this what? Resource type directory? No. Can't we just create a simple directory? Android ROS directory, sample data directory, package. Okay, we call this package utils. Cool, we have utils now, right? Inside this util, we'll create an object of client.kt, and inside this util, we'll create a new Kotlin file and we'll call this client. And we are not making it class, instead we are just creating it a simple object, and we'll copy this one. They are using bunch of other things than that. No, I'll just make this simple. I'll copy this, paste it here. We need to import the context, then we need to import the client from IO Appwrite. Yes, then we have the configurations, but we are not making the config file. So if we do, let's create a new config file. Config file. Inside this configuration, we'll just grab our configuration file config.kt and we'll copy that and we'll paste it here. It's a singleton and I'm not using anything here, right? So inside the host, I need to provide the local host, and inside the project I'll need to provide this is my project, right? So in the configuration, let's provide the project ID. Now the callback, I don't know if I'm using these two things in my client. Do I? Yes, I need to import from there my solutions. Endpoint, yes, I'm using config.project. I use this. I didn't use the callback. And config.project, yes. Then it is saying I did something wrong which I need to correct, so I'll just emit it here and I'll import this, and yes, no, let's copy from this one, right? Just have this client, pure client. Why? Now let's see where it is copying this. Import this one. Let's copy both of these and paste it here. Yes, now it is gone. Let's not include the count for now. Then make client private. Do we need to make it private? I don't know. I'm not sure about that either. So let's leave it as it is, and to stick with the example we are using. So now we have our create. Okay, so whenever we created our client object in our utilities, what else do we have in our utilities? We have some events. What to do with that events? I don't need that events now, so I'll leave that. I'll try to make things work as soon as possible. Then I have the UIs where we are using the database, the counts. We have an account fragment on create view. Leave that. What is this? No, I don't need that. Let's close this one. Come back to my console. I still don't know what this status true does, so I'll figure that out later. Let's go to next. You are ready to go. Okay, so cool. Now our Android project is connected. It says 34 requests. Who made that? I didn't. Did I? I don't know. So my app is integrated. I do have option to create an API key. So I need to do the authentication. Okay, this says it is unverified. We can verify this account manually. So now we have one user which is verified email. And what kind of templates do we have? Verification template, sender name, sender email. So no, we are not doing that. We have the options, then the functions, then the storage. We need to work around with the authentication. Let's come back here. So it says inside the application tag along the existing activity tag. Okay, so existing, along with the existing activity tag, we need to put this one. So come to the Android manifest. This is our activity and we need to add this one here, I guess. So there we need to put the project ID. So let's go to the client, the config. Here we have the project ID. We copy this. Cool. Okay, now I get where this callback comes from. So when this Appwrite callback project, and this is the same thing which is we are writing in the manifest, Appwrite callback and then project ID. So so far I'm just capping it. What? Replace with Appwrite? No, we don't want that. So okay, we just did that. Then we need to create Appwrite singleton. Okay, find your project's ID in the setting page and the API endpoint. Yes, this is some kind of singleton we're talking about. Yes. Okay, so we have a better singleton about our Appwrite. Instead of this client, we can create a good singleton. Just copy that and create a new singleton object and create, and Appwrite. Is this name correct? No, the rights. Cool. So we'll replace this with this one, and the package should be our own package. Now we have our Appwrite, which the endpoint, we can make this client config.endpoint, just the way we did. No, need to remove the string. Then we put this here. Did we import the config? Yes, we did. And then we have a config dot project. Yes, so let's make sure we have these as string. Yes, we do. Then we set this, and we have an account. We have these two variables. Then we have on login, on register, and on logout functions. Cool. So now we have a better singleton. Then we go to a login page. We need to add the following code to the main activity. So inside this main activity, we need to replace this, right? Okay, just copy this, come to this. I'm not sure that these composables are read, so now these are being lost. Do I have a better option? Let's forget that. I need my package name. Just grab everything and replace this with this one. Instead of this, we need this, so we need to replace it. And then we didn't import, which we import object Appwrite. We did that. Yes. We don't have this themes available, just have dot what is the name of theme? My Appwrite test theme. And yes, so it looks good so far. It should log in us. So we have username, email, and password. We have a core team scope. User is not empty. Then a column is created, modifier, and inside this it says that you are logged in. So I think this code should log us in. Cool. Okay, I'll test this in my mobile application and will update you. I will not be able to share my mobile application screen. It says all set. You are good to log into your code. Yes. So we followed everything so far and we are good to go. Let's see. Okay, now I connected my phone and I'm going to install this app onto my mobile. I'm using Techno Spark, so let's see how it will work in my mobile phone. Okay, so wow, we got some errors. Cool. What is this now? Oops, there are a lot of. What kind of error this is? Gradle API internal IV service default land configuration could not resolve all files for configuration. What kind of error is this? Build. Let's clean this and rebuild. Okay, now it is saying something. JVM errors. What does that mean? Failure build completed with 8 failures. One task failed with an exception. Let's see some other tasks. Well, what kind of errors are they? I'm not sure about these errors. And Gradle API internal artifacts. I'm installing NetsView to visualize my then it says it's a problem found in Android Studio 3.6 update, but it is basically not a problem. All you have to do is following to enable or disable Gradle offline mode. First select View, Tools, Windows, Gradle from the menu bar, and near the top of the Gradle window click Toggle offline mode. What does that mean? I was going through similar issue last night. This is what worked for me. Open a build file on top of the folder. It should look similar to this. add Google to repositories in build script all project. I think we already have built. So I tried this offline, but that's not the case. It is saying something about OK HTTP. If that's the case, I think I need to add this one as well, but that is not something which I actually uh, get any. So if they are using the OK HTTP, there should be some import as well. I wasn't aware that this package is using the OK HTTP. But if they are, there must be something to resolve it. So let's try to add this into our Gradle and see if it resolves. I think this SDK should do this, but if that SDK is not including the OK HTTP, let's try now and see what. Is it working or not? Oh, we need to sync. Let's wait for the sync. I should pause the video. Oh, it's failed to resolve because I made that enable the offline mode. I think I should do this and resync. Where's the option to resync? Sync now. Oh, I just made this wrong. Try again. I think this Android version has a lot of bugs. Maybe. But it still is not able to find that OK HTTP. No. OK HTTP Android. Let's see what the official documentation have to say about the. Is my recording on? Yes. What? Yeah, there it is saying. Define a bomb and its version. Define any recorders artifact. It is the same. Okay, they are using the 4.10 version, but we have this one. Try to sync now. But this error should not be there, because if any other third-party library the Appwrite SDK is using, that should be responsible for adding that with the proper version. What? Failed to resolve. Where is this error? Why? Why? SDK for Android 4.0. There is the Gradle for multi-library version 1.1.1. SDK for Android. Requested version 4.0, but we have more versions for this. Let's apply this. And I think we again have problem with this. Then resync it. Are we in offline mode? No, we are not. We are not in offline mode. So everything is up to date, is building, and is still unable to resolve this error. We ignore that. It is failed to resolve. Boom. Okay, HTTP is not being resolved. No, no luck. I think I need to post this issue. This one. Do we have some other? Could not resolve all files for configurations. Okay, so we have bug report already. Not able to import. So we already have failed to resolve this bug. SDK for Android. After adding implementation IO app SDK for Android to my build Gradle KTS. So expected behavior build should be failed to resolve this error. Yes, I'm getting this one as well. Environment Kotlin SDK. Yes, we are doing pretty much similar. They tried adding this as well, so that did not work for them. Okay, any update on this issue? You can go ahead and download your AGT version to 8.1.1. I think it will work fine. Now I'm sharing my Android screen with the app view. Here you can see that I have this activity, username and password I can enter. Let's try to log in with the user we created, test@gmail.com, and the password we did hello123. Let's try to log in and see what happens. I am pressing the login button. Nothing is going on here. Let's try to press the register button. This button is not working as well. Okay, we'll see. And by the way, how I resolved the error of OOK HTTP, what I did was actually I just changed this version 8.1.1, so I downgraded this. This was reported in a GitHub issue with the official SDK library, and the bug was reported in that, and they said that we should this is a bug report which I have had mentioned, and it says that I need to the only workaround is you go ahead and down your AGP version as we checked before. So I just changed this in my build.gradle.kts file, which is this one, the project level KTS file of build Gradle. So I just checked this out, and finally I got it working for now. Although the sign up is not working as expected, I'll have to look into that. Maybe I'm using the wireless connectivity with the Let's View, and I'm also enable the wireless debugging mode, so maybe that would be the issue. But the login button and the register button doesn't seems to be working here. And if we go back into our console, where do we have this one? So it have this. Let's go to the main console and our app. In the auth we have this. Let's see if we have something. One registered user, last activity never. So this user is never active. We try to press the login button, but it doesn't seems working. We need to further add some code to see what is going on here. So there is a button click. So we have a surface modifier, user, email, password. If user dot is not empty, it is asking for a username. Do I have a username available? We don't have a username. We have email and password. I don't think name is the username. Is it? Let's try this. Test user. And update this one, and let's say I change this to test user, and then I try to log in. Nothing happens again. And if I modifier fill max horizontal vertical arrangement text logged in as, if user is not empty. Okay. Column button coroutine scope.launch Appwrite.on logout. We have a text field, email, label is username. No, we have to. Okay, so that makes sure that we need to provide the email. So label modifier dot fill max width and padding is added. Then we have a text field for password, keyboard options, password. Then we have a row, and inside that row we have two buttons, I guess. So yes, the button on click coroutine launch try Appwrite.on login user.email. Let's say in this I try to toast. Can I do that? I have no experience with Jetpack Compose, so I'm not sure I can make a toast inside the Jetpack Compose or not. already shows me the error. So I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or not. Let's try again and see what happens. So far it looks good. We have a pretty Jetpack Compose API. It is installing and launching our new activity, and when I press yes, the toast is working, so the button is being clicked but no error is being displayed. So when I set test at gmail.com and hello123, and when I press login, nothing happens. And instead of this, let's try to make a toast here and e.message and toast.when and show. Right, so if there is some error, it should display here. We have, this is a terminal. Let's dock this and let's see what do we have on our, here we have test at gmail.com, then we have hello123 login, it shows test failed to connect to localhost. Okay, what we need to provide is to change this localhost with the correct IP address. So instead of providing the localhost, we need to provide here the actual IP address of our computer. So when we were trying localhost, it was accessing from within the mobile, but our Appwrite is located into our laptop and the IP address of the laptop was different. So I just changed that IP address and it works just expected. So the next video we will be talking about how to change this UI, because the UI is not appealing and we need to change this UI to adopt the latest Jetpack Compose and a better navigation. So far the overall code is working, so we'll leave the next part into upcoming video which will be purely Jetpack Compose based.